morning. This is Annie DK again. Today is the next day. It is February 20 of 2022. I just wanted to remark on some of the things that I just like. I don't like to write things down. I just speak like with my reality and what I know. The first thing that I have to address is that I have nothing to negotiate with anyone because I have not involvement in any of the politics. I don't have any position that takes decisions. I don't even know what happens. I am as the public is. Like I get information from public sources. Nothing that I know is classified. Everything is out in the public. Everything that if another person can know is what I know. And I'm not the kind of person that fit into demands and people who have intimidate and make threats. I don't negotiate with people like that, and I have nothing to negotiate. Like I have rights as a human being, and they're not negotiable. So there's nothing to speak. I just wanted to clarify that. And this is not a radio show. This is just me trying to, just to speak up because a lot of the things that are happening right now affect a lot of people. And for my part, I just know what I know. I don't know what anybody else knows. One of the things that I have noticed lately is that if I go to the website, I don't know if it happens to everybody else. If I go to a website, normally it's www. It doesn't have to have like any other letters or numbers, and it has been appeared that it has appeared other letters and numbers, and I think that is a fake way that they introduce fake news and fake reality, and it's just something that they're doing. And I don't know, like I don't have coding and computer knowledge. I don't know how that's done. I just use the computer like everybody else. And another thing that I have to say is that these people use security as police. They're fake policemen, and they are used to block everybody else from their area and what they're doing, whether it's a film or whatever agenda they put up there. And it's very dangerous because everybody else also have rights to be in public places if they're not causing destruction or anything. Because they are very selfish, they close to these areas and cause a lot of destruction to the town or the city or place. So other people cannot function, like go to their work or do whatever they have to do within the time frame. Something else that I spoke about yesterday's requirements and school requirements. One of the school requirements was taking religious classes, and I don't practice religious in my house, and we're not religious, but we were required to have religious education. And this is how I learned, and I got to meet some people from these places. And basically it's very it's one religion is all religion. That's what has to be known. They have different names. They appear to have different deity leaders, but they are all under one umbrella. And they have this person who they worship, and they are trying to free this person who has been twice been summoned to be executed. And they believe that this person is the gate, like is the leader, is a chosen one, and they want to free this person. By doing this, what they do, how they want to do this, how they do this is by, making demands by taking hostages, by doing a lot of destructions and using weapons. This is not something that particular, like, I haven't seen this within my eyes, but this is what is happening. This is the reality of America right now. So if we understand the true history or to politics, the Obama administration led a lot of the Iranian. It was a gateway for the Iranians to come here and have all these documentations and things and positions in America. And the Trump administration was a gateway for the Russians to be in the government. Like I said, I'm not a politician. I haven't worked for the government, but this is public knowledge. And also, one of the things that so they did have all these establishment and organizations will provide them with meals, like meals that are free, like twice a week at least. They provide them with clinics. They have pantries where they can get free groceries. They have ID drives. The ID drives were sponsored by the police and the firemen departments. And these are all services that Americans have to try very hard to get. And these are services that are not for free for everybody else. But even the Habitat for Humanity make houses, and they were given for free to this particular group of people who are coming from other places and were coming to this administration and the things that were establishment. And they goes to the occupied movement like they have no responsibility whatsoever, so they could be doing whatever they wanted to be doing, whether Americans were struggling and being paid and living two paychecks and their time. And this group of people who were having all this taken care of, have nothing to worry about, and can do whatever they want. And their agenda was always to have established this new order that they believe they have a leader and who the leader should be, and everything is decided by this person. And this was part of the Occupy movement that began with the Obama, continued with the Trumps, and is also under this administration. So in a way to explain this, the American system has been infiltrated by foreigners, and they work for the government. The problem is that here they don't go by the Russians' identities. Like, I don't know where Russia is. I don't even know if that the Russian country really exists. It is in the map, but I've never been there. I don't know how to speak the language, but I know that they don't come here with their identities from other places. They infiltrate the system and take very American names and work for the government here in the United States, and is opposing everything that is American. It's just favor to all these other people who have their agenda, and their agenda is not the American agenda. Their agenda is to have this leader who is in a dictatorship kind of form, that is going to decide everything for everybody else. And the media, 2 summers ago, when they had this other movement that talked the street in Washington, put like, oh, it's very friendly. No, it's not very friendly. You have guns. You check who can go over there. It's not friendly. It's not safe. And this is what a lot of the neighborhoods and a lot of the places is looking in America, because this infiltration of the government and what is happening to the system of the government here they also have a system of writing that is different from the ABCs. Like I only know my ABCs. I don't know any other understand any other language that is not ABC based. So and they have their computers even have this. I call them the wiggly lines because I don't understand what they're saying. I don't. It's not something that I can write or read, but it looks like wiggly lines, and their computers are even like have these characters who are not ABCs based, and this is how they communicate with each other. Um, so it's something that has nothing to do with Americans, but it is in American life if we are all affected by this system right now, which is very upfront and it's more out right now. It's before it was like more like oh they needed to be more careful right now because they have taken such a big part of the life of American life. They right now they don't care. They are more in the open. People are more aware, and people have to know this. This is very important to know, and that's why I take my time to this is to say no. This is fake news. This is propaganda, and this is what's happening because it's affecting everybody else right now. So another thing was this Victoria's Secret. Victoria's Secret seems to be that it is a a store like everybody else, and this is a Russian-based kind of business who was doing something else, and all these women who were from all these different places. It's like all these chosen from these places, the, the cult and this religion that are these women that make them into like should change their heads and the body, and they look so unrealistic that. And it was like from the Trump administration that Christina, who is Melania, that were owning all these stores and were doing something other business through these other businesses. And this is what it is right now. It's a complete deception of the public view. They're using these different businesses and they're using public images that are false to cover their bases. And I think that right now it is more in the public, and a lot of people are more aware of what's happening right now. And like I said, all this information is public. Like I have never in my life been to Russia. I don't know how to speak any Russian. I don't. I just like all these people that I knew from school or from other places were coming to me like, or they are American. They have very American names and very American lives, but they're not. And it was a deception. Like they deceive the public, they deceive everybody else. Like you cannot know if a person is someone else unless you have her. If unless they tell you, okay, now they have way of knowing, and now like I can see through the internet that that's a lie that I have been told, but at the time I didn't have the knowledge to know that these were different people. But this is my the sense through what I got into my education and what is happening in the public. Like I said, I never worked for the government. I have never had any position where I have decided anything that is related to the government. I have not reason to negotiate with anybody else, especially with people who have weapons and are threatening this country because this is my country. And I, my my Pennsylvanian roots. We have very narrow streets. We have very small foods portion, but it's like when you go to the mainland, it's the same. It's the same place. So I you know my upbringing and how I think is very much Westerner. You know, this is I don't know how to think or be like all these different people because that's not my experience and that's not my more point of view. I don't like forcing people. Like I don't even have a stick. Like if someone came to attack me, I don't even have a stick to defend myself. Like I don't weapons and things like that is nothing that entice me or that form of like of life that is violence is not me. And this is what is very hard that the situation is happening because it's a totally false image and reality of what's happening, and they control everything. The emails that I send are controlled or bounced back. I cannot communicate with other people. They have a system or the staff who is controlling my life and controlling who I speak with, who I interact. I have basically no interaction with people that are normal. Everyone else from the public and like even my parents, they have tried to control my communication with my parents, and they have threatened my parents and intimidate them. The same with me, and it's been very hard. The last 4 years has been very hard because a lot of things that are unthinkable has happened, and it's violence and things that it's a form of life that I don't relate. So it's very hard for me to go through all this because it's not something that I'm used to. They come from countries and ideas and families where this is normal. This is not the American way. This is not my way. So here I am. Every day it's like the pandemic has been very hard for everyone else. And they have tried this. This is not the first time they have tried things like that. They always want to make the public believe that it's the end of the world. The end is coming. The end is not coming. The war is good. The sun always comes out. Like the environment is good. It's the politics. It's the politics that is very corrupted and it's they because if they don't have it their way, they want to make everything look as it is the end and it's bad. And it is not like that. People don't have to believe this. There is no disease that is coming from the unknown that is going to be killing 20,000 people. The only disease that does that is politicians. Politicians do. When people speak about what they are going through and they want to prove and take them down, they will go and kill 20,000 people. Not disease in the power in the planet has that power and have done that, but politicians have done that. So I don't tell people believe my story. I tell people check the facts. The facts are there. Check the reality. Be smart. Don't let people deceive you because I was very inexperienced. I was very young when all this started to happen. I have no idea. Like a person is learning how to breathe, how to walk, doesn't worry about like, oh, is this? You don't even know the concept of reality between lies, and especially such big lies like this. And having a country to have portrayed and be changed into a different region, this is dangerous because you cannot put a region in a limbo just because of your own agenda. And has always been done. These people in this country in America that do not speak the language like English just because they have been forced to by watching television or going to school to speak other languages, and they have no awareness of the English language, and these people are Americans. So the situation is dear. Um, it's not a walk in the park, and it's real. But as I said, I don't force any my views and anybody else. I like to hear from other people. I just want the truth to be out there and people to check the facts. When people will check the facts and will know, and maybe not tomorrow in a year, but at the end it's going to be known that I'm telling the truth. This is Any Decay. Today's February 2022, and this is just checks. Everybody knows this is public knowledge.